You're listening to the Metrics Maven podcast, the show for solopreneurs ready to stop guessing and start growing. Do you ever have those days where it feels like you've been working all day long, but at the end of the day, you end up questioning what you actually accomplished, and then as a result, your sales are still flat? If you've ever felt this way, you are definitely not alone. Grab a notebook and get ready because today's episode will help you regain control of your business in a way that is simple and sustainable. As a solopreneur, it is so easy to get caught up in the urgent to-dos, responding to emails, jumping on social media, checking in on clients. And while those things might feel productive, they're not always the things that will actually grow your business. So often, the things that actually lead to growth, lead to more sales, often get pushed to the back burner. So why does this happen? Well, I want you to think about it. When you were working in a 9-to-5 job, if you didn't feel like showing up, there's an immediate consequence. Maybe you got written up, or if this is something you've been doing regularly, a lot of times you ended up getting fired. But if you don't feel like doing a task for your business because you don't feel like showing up, for example, writing that email, posting, recording a podcast episode, nothing happens. No one notices, at least not right away. As a solopreneur, we don't have a manager or a boss breathing down our neck. We don't have deadlines unless we set them. And without that external accountability, it's so easy to slip into a reactive mode, just responding at whatever's coming at us instead of proactively driving our business forward. And over time, those skipped actions do add up. And as a result, our current reality becomes a result of those daily actions or inactions. So therefore, if we want a different result, we have to start doing something differently. And when you build routines around your business goals and priorities, you reduce decision fatigue, avoid overthinking, and can stay focused on what actually leads to business growth. These aren't just any actions. They are focused, intentional actions that align with your goals. And not just doing more of one thing, like posting more on Instagram, but actually taking strategic action across your entire sales funnel. Most solopreneurs resist structure. We start our businesses for freedom, right? To work when we want, how we want. So this idea of structure, it feels really rigid. It feels confining. And it feels like we're back in the corporate world that we all left behind. But at the end of the day, structure is what actually creates the freedom. And without structure, your days start to run you. You end up jumping between tasks. You get stuck scrolling. You find yourself doing a lot of things that feel really important. You feel busy, but your business doesn't actually grow as a result. But structure doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as having a simple daily flow that helps you focus on what really matters. And over time, this flow becomes a habit, saving you even more time and energy because you now know exactly what you need to do. And you can actually get yourself to do the work that will get you the results that you want. But that leads us to the big question. What do I actually need to do each day in order to grow my business? And after years of trial and error, I have finally found a simple daily structure that works. And it doesn't just work for my business. I've been testing this with my clients too. And today I am going to walk you through it because this flow is what has helped me double my business growth this year alone. So let's break it down. Before I even start for the day, I center. I take the time to center myself. What does this look like? It means taking the time to pour into myself, my physical, mental, and spiritual health every single day, because this directly impacts my ability to show up as a strong, grounded CEO. This step sets the tone for my entire day. It allows me to get into the zone and to focus where I need to focus. Because if I'm not able to be my best self, how can I help others do the same thing? So once I have taken the time to center myself, I clock in. And the very first thing I do is create. I don't scroll. I don't check my emails. I don't reply to DMs. I create. Why? Because this is when my brain is still fresh for the day. This is when I'm most focused, clear, and creative. So, because I'm in this state, I want to protect that energy that I have fiercely. And this is where self awareness goes a long way. When are you most creative? Maybe you're not a morning person. Maybe it's after a workout. Maybe you're more creative in the evening. And knowing your peak mental energy window and scheduling your most important work, things that will take energy, like content creation, when you schedule it around this, this makes a huge difference in your consistency and the output. So, why do I prioritize content creation? Well, content is how you stay visible. It's how you stay top of mind. It's how you build trust before someone ever reaches out or clicks by. Your content is what positions you as the guide and shows your audience, hey, I see you, I get it, and I've got something that can help you. So each day, I create one piece of content. And it's really important to note that content is not just social media. Sometimes it's an email to my email list. Sometimes it's an episode for the podcast. I don't overcomplicate it and I don't leave it up to mood or motivation. I follow a simple rhythm that eliminates decision fatigue. So, for example, here's what mine looks like. Monday, I create all my social media content. Tuesday and Wednesday are podcast creation days. And Thursdays when I write my weekly email. And having this loose structure keeps me focused because now I'm not sitting down each day staring at a blank screen, wondering, oh gosh, what do I talk about today? What do I share? I know exactly what type of content I'm creating and where it's going. And the best part is, too, I'm not starting from scratch every single day. I repurpose based on what's already working because I actually take the time to look at my metrics. So if I saw that a post or an email performed really well, it tells me that something's resonating. So I get curious and I go, well, what about this made more people open it? What about this can I replicate? And I build off of that, reuse it in a new format, or even expand upon the idea in a podcast episode. And what happens is it saves me time and ensures that my content is actually aligned with what my audience actually cares about. I've simplified this to, or I've systemized this to simplify this. It's repeatable, it's sustainable, and it works. At the end of the day, content is a business asset. It's not just something that we're checking off a to do list. This is how we're generating awareness and nurturing our audience to guide people towards our offers. So, why wouldn't we prioritize this? So, once I've taken the time to create, I connect. Now, when I say connection, I am not talking about scrolling Instagram and just liking a few posts. I am talking about strategic discoverability, getting your business in front of new people who actually have the problem that you solve. Because you could have the most amazing offer in the entire world. But if no one knows about it, it's not going to sell. So that's why connection is all about lead generation. This is top of funnel. This is where new eyes come into your world. This is how you grow your audience, not just nurture the one that you already have. So, what does this look like in practice? It could be guesting on a podcast where your ideal client is already listening, showing up and providing value in someone else's community, memberships, masterminds, Facebook groups, attending a networking event, virtually or in person, having those real conversations. and posting intentionally on social media, not just to stay active, but to actually reach new people. The key here is that it's not about being everywhere. It's about being in the right places consistently. And this is why it is so crucial to know where exactly your target client is. And when you're clear on that, you don't have to waste your time being all of the places. You can be intentional because now you're able to position yourself right in front of them where they already are. And this doesn't have to take hours per day. Even one intentional action per day can lead to massive growth over time. Visibility doesn't just happen, it is created by putting yourself in the path of the people you're meant to serve. So, after I've focused on connection and visibility, I shift into cultivate mode. And this is where I see so many business owners dropping the ball. Because what happens is we get so focused on that visibility aspect that we need to get in front of new people that we forget to nurture the people who have already opted into our world. But these people, your existing audience, past clients, referral partners, email subscribers, your followers, these are your warmest leads. They've already raised their hand in some way by opting in, following you, saying yes to something. And yet so often we're ignoring these people. Cultivating is all about building trust and deepening the connection that's already there. It's not about selling, it's about serving. So, what does this actually look like? Well, engaging with your least engaged followers, because sometimes all it takes is one little comment or thoughtful reply to reignite that interest and show someone that you see them. It could look like reaching out to your referral partners, just checking in, offering value, seeing how you can support them without asking for anything in return. It looks like following up with networking connections. How many times have you gone to a networking event to never see those people again? We don't just ghost them after we connect, but we want to stay connected, nurture that relationship. Again, look at ways that we can collaborate. And also, we can check in with our past and current clients. They're the ones that already trust us. Their relationship is gold. So don't let it go cold. Really be intentional. Be genuinely interested in people. Ask them questions. Use those Instagram polls or story replies. Leave them thoughtful comments. Start conversations because when you actually care, when you take the time to do this, you will stand out. All too often, most people are showing up online and just talking about themselves. But when you're showing up with real interest in others and take the time to connect on a human level, you're different. And people remember that. They remember how you made them feel. And at the end of the day, they don't typically buy from someone they just discovered yesterday. They buy from someone that they trust, someone who's been consistent, someone who has shown up, served, and stuck around. Cultivation is the bridge between visibility and conversion. And if you're not doing this step, if you're skipping this step, your funnel has a massive leak that needs to be filled. So, once we've done this, then we take the time to convert. We want to guide people toward a sale by making the ask. Now, I know this is the part that makes so many of you listening feel uncomfortable. The minute we hear convert, we think of sleazy sales tactics. And we actually just talked about this in a prior episode. Make sure to check that out. It's linked in the show notes. But conversion is not about pressure, it's about providing a clear next step. And in fact, this doesn't always mean directly selling. It just means guiding someone to take action. Whether that action is free or paid, it's intentional and it moves the relationship forwards. So, this could look like sharing a link to a freebie to get them onto your email list, a list that you actually own, inviting them to a free event that you're holding that can help build trust and humanize your brand, or opening a conversation that naturally leads into a deeper conversation. But the key here is clarity. And if you're not regularly making clear offers, both free and paid, you're not giving people a path to buy from you. And that's a huge missed opportunity. So, yes, every single day, I'm doing something to guide people towards that next step, driving traffic to my lead magnet, inviting people in, and following up on conversations. Because this is what is moving someone from browsing to buying, from this is helpful to how can I work with you? But if you never make the ask, if you shy away from selling, then people are left guessing. Even the most interested, aligned client will not magically know how to take the next step unless you tell them. So think of converting not as a hard sell, but as an invitation. You've already built trust. You've already shown up and served. Now you're simply making it easy for them to say yes. And when you do this consistently, this is when attention turns into income and your business starts growing with clarity, confidence, and ease. So finally, once we're through all of that, I take 5 minutes to celebrate. Now, I know this might sound weird or like some kind of small woo thing, but this one habit has made such a massive impact on my mindset, my momentum, and how I actually measure success. So at the end of every workday, I reflect on three things. I take into account three good things that happened today. Sometimes they're really big wins. Other times it's something as simple as, oh my gosh, I got someone new on my email list, or oh, maybe I had a moment of clarity in talking with someone or helped a client achieve a win. Then I look at three things that I accomplished. So even if my to-do list didn't get fully checked off, I give myself credit for what I did get done. And this helps me from slipping into that never enough feeling. And then I reflect on three things that I am grateful for, because this helps me shift out of that scarcity mode and back into a grounded abundance perspective, because there is always something to be thankful for. So, why does this matter? Well, as solopreneurs, it's so easy to focus on what's not working, what we didn't get done, what's still uncertain. But this simple habit of celebrating, it rewires your brain to look for progress instead of problems. It is building resilience by reminding you that you're moving forward, even if the day felt messy or hard. This is how we can measure success, not just by revenue or growth, but how you showed up, how you took action, and how you stayed aligned with that bigger vision that you have. And the best part is that it takes less than 5 minutes to do, but the ripple effect that this creates is so powerful. It's grounding, it builds confidence, and it creates evidence for our brain to see progress. It allows us to close out the day feeling clear and complete so that you can rest, recharge, and show up strong again tomorrow. Because success isn't built in the big, exciting milestones moments. It's built in the small, intentional actions we repeat every single day. So let's do a quick recap of my daily flow, the flow that's helped me and my clients grow. So we start out by centering. Remember, before the day begins, take the time to pour into yourself. This sets the tone for everything else. Next, create content. Once you're on the clock, start with creation, not consumption. Your content is how you stay visible, serve your audience, and build authority. This is what's positioning you as the guide, not just as someone with something to sell, but as someone who understands and solves real problems. Up next, connect with new leads. Connection is all about discoverability. This is your top of funnel activity. Get in front of the people who need what you offer. whether it's through networking, podcasting, strategic social media posts, or collaborations. Up next, cultivate genuine relationships. Your warmest leads are already in your world. Engage with them, follow up, check in, show that you care. People don't buy from strangers. They buy from those that they know and trust. Cultivating connections builds trust. Up next, we have convert. Convert to a list that you own or a paid offer. Make the ask, guide your audience toward action, whether it's a freebie, a discovery call, a paid offer. Your business only grows when you give people clear path forward. Attention doesn't equal income. Action does. And finally, celebrate your progress. End your day by reflecting. Acknowledge the good, the progress, and what you're grateful for. This rewires your brain to focus on momentum over perfection. And this is what keeps you in the game long term. Now, does all of this mean that you need to completely overhaul your entire routine tomorrow? No. But it does mean getting honest with yourself about how you're currently spending the time that you do have. I want you to ask yourself, are your daily actions aligned with the business that you're trying to build? Or are you stuck in reactive mode and checking off boxes that aren't actually moving your business forward? Entrepreneur has been glamorized and it often skips the work. We see the end result of all the work behind the scenes and we wonder why our reality doesn't match up. But we need to refocus on what's actually driving growth. This is what creates a sustainable rhythm that you can rely on, even when life happens, keeping you focused, consistent, and in motion without burnout. So take what you need from this episode and leave the rest. Adjust, refine, and make it your own. Because when you stop guessing and start leading your day with intention, the results will follow. If this episode resonated with you, this is exactly what I love helping clients with inside of my signature program, Metrics Mastery. You can get started for free at amytra.com. Until next time, stop guessing and start growing. Hey, before you go, if you're loving the podcast, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you know a fellow solopreneur who's ready to break through their sales plateau, send this episode their way.